Monday, Monday, can't trust that day.
So we're in the classic and exotic car business, and we're out of town just about every other weekend. So here at Moto Exotica, we're the largest classic car dealer in the Midwest with over 250 cars in stock. We sell 35, 40 cars a month, and this is a machine that constantly needs to be fed. We move cars in, we move cars out. So on Mondays, you come through that door and you dread some bullshit that's gonna go down. You know it's gonna be something. Did we get payment for the other 3 yet?
We have not got payment for the other 3 yet.
And because?
I can't tell you why, because.
So yeah, Mondays at Moto Exotica are a mess. It's nature of the beast, though.
Did we get the money for the 57 T-Bird yet?
Not yet. We're supposed to be getting it in the mail.
Oh, come on, the check is in the mail, that's all that guy keeps telling us. On Mondays, I always know it's gonna be some bullshit. So I come into work with my gloves on, ready to fight. Any problems with it?
Yeah. Well, she'd come up a little hot on the test drive. Could be a thermostat. We're gonna have to see.
So it's overheating a little?
Yeah, a little bit.
I hate them. I hate Mondays.
Anybody call for me while I was gone?
Michael Desert called for you. Wants to talk business.
What did he say anything else?
No, not really. He had an accent.
Had an accent. He say where he's from?
Nope. Oh, Miami. He did say Miami.
Miami. Guy with an accent.
Yep.
So I returned the call. Now, Mr. Desert could be anybody. I've never had any relation with him. I don't even know who he is. He could be an insurance salesman for all I know. But with respect, I give him a call. Over the next 40 minutes, he explains to me who he is, what he does, and where he's located. He owns 1,600 classic cars. He owns 1 million square feet of property in Manhattan. He has hotels and high-rise apartments and condos throughout sunny Isle, Florida. And then he tells me, when you look up lifestyles of the rich and famous, that's me. So here's his Wikipedia page, man. He ain't bullshitting. Look at this.
What is that about Manhattan motor cars you have right there?
Yeah, he's
We know that.
Manhattan Motor Cars.
So Manhattan,
he owns the building that Manhattan Motor Cars is in.
So if you're in New York and want any of the Highline cars, you go there. Scott and I sat down and looked who he was, looked him up, looked at photos, and he's quite the big power player down in South Florida.
He's written up in Forbes magazine. That's
right
good
next
company.
to John Lennon's quote.
He says, come on down, I'll put you up in my hotel for the week. I said, what hotel? He says, the Trump International Beach Resort, right in Sunny Isle, on the beach. Who could say no?
Welcome to paradise.
So Mark comes to my house at 4:20 in the morning. We got a 6 o'clock flight to get here. No sooner we get here, we're off to Extreme Action Park. It was pretty extreme.
But this is like Chuck E. Cheese on steroids. You have a full arcade, you have a bowling alley, you have rock climbing, rope climbing, you have laser tag.
So I know what you're thinking. We're not actually there for fun. We're there for work. Mr. Desert had owned the building and has another collection of cars he wanted us to see.
Of course, we weren't normal and use our legs and walk around like anyone else would. Scott, of course, found 2 pedal bikes parked next to the $1 million Bentley.
Get on one, man. Come on, grab one.
Scott can't say no to any 2-wheel that has fat tires. I get it, I like fat tires too. So he pulls these things out and I'm like, you know you're pulling out $20 Huffies that they sell at Walmart and you got like this much room and you're about to hit $1 million car. And he just looks at me like, so? Okay, well fine, I'll join you. So I go back, he gets the black one, I get the white one, we hop on these bikes and we are biking around this guy's car collection. It's big, so maybe that's what the bikes are there for, I don't know. There's other people there that are actually looking at the cars and they're looking at us like, what is going on? These guys are rolling on pedal bikes around millions of dollars of cars and we're just laughing, racing. Oh God, there's something wrong with us.
So you don't remember this car?
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. They'll be the world's last hope.
And the game is on.
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Look at this spine, man. This thing looks like alive. And it's got elephants up here. Somebody was stoned when they did this, I am telling you, man.
So it looked like someone went up to Home Depot, went to the you know, the aisle with all the knobs and everything for your kitchen, your bathrooms, and basically went shopping. I don't know. To me, it was just it was some guy's project, you know. But it was in a movie, so I guess it's cool.
What do you think, man? I mean, talk about another eclectic mix of the most ridiculousness you've ever seen. Which everything from Chagall's on the wall to Picasso's to Moreau's to statuary, Romanesque.
Michael's collection he's got a little bit for somebody from everybody. I mean, everything's there. Everything. No matter who you are, you're going to find something that you like.
After we're finished with putting the bikes back, we get through the Auto Museum. There's the rest of this extreme auction park. Most importantly, they have like the fastest indoor go-kart track in all of Florida, right? So Mark and I got to check it out because I'm going to kick his ass. That's what I'm going to do. Race time!
And I started from the very back, and I just terrorized people. I was full out just flooring this thing and handling I mean, my arms are sore by holding the turns. I was nuts. And I was just causing destruction.
Great kick some ass. Out of the back of my eye, I can see like cars going, carts flying sideways and back and forth. And then Mark would just kind of barrel out of them like the Intimidator, you know?
Rubbing is definitely racing. I did rub a couple people pretty good.
But this was more than rubbing. This was slamming people into the corners, man. Awesome first day in Florida. Got to see some killer cars, iconic cars. And then we got to play with go-karts with no arrests and no wrecks. Coming up, we get to meet with Mr. Michael Deser himself. So before we got to meet Mr. Deser, we got to stroll through some of the coolest, most iconic cars you've ever seen. The supercar room. Now, this is a breath of fresh air. So we walk into the supercar room, and it really is a beautiful room. Beautiful white porcelain tile. The whole thing, it just shines when you walk into it. And you got some really cool Aston Martin, a brand new Aston Martin, and a Lamborghini, and a Dodge Viper, and you know, all kinds of Corvettes and all other iconic cars. Duesenberg boat tail roadster tucked over to the side. And that's very impressive. But off to the side is a dark room, and it's the Batcave. All right, so stop your bitching. Last night you wouldn't even get on a bicycle, but at the end of the day you had fun, didn't you?
You see this? We have lots of stuff to do at home.
Hey man, we're on spring break.
I was done, you know, so I mean, you had me get in and shoehorn myself into a bat bike and Robin's little seat, and I'm 6'3", so, you know, fitting myself in that was, it was interesting.
Over here is the George Barris bat boat.
We have that stuff at home.
I don't have the bat boat.
Oh, bat boat, mat boat, they're all the same.
Oh, it's bitching.
You know,
come on, let's go look at more shit.
All right, well, help me out of here.
Get a shoehorn.
Is that you?
What's that?
Oh, come on, man. What'd you do? Steal someone? You robbed the mannequin?
Look, I'm watching Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
I've never seen the movie. I know about it. I think there was like a musical about it or something once. I don't know. I mean, I know about it, but I don't know. I don't know much.
Bang, bang, chitty, chitty, bang, bang. Our fine four-fingered friend.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was a movie from 1968 starring Dick Van Dyke that was another iconic car movie like no other. It was a fantasy movie for children, and I remember watching it with my mom and dad and my sister going there. I was 9 years old, my sister was 7. We got to sing the songs. This was a time in life was much simpler. The year before this, Batman had come out on television, Hot Wheels had come out, the 67 Corvette was being made. What better time in life to be a kid than in the 60s? And that's me, guys. So, yeah, while Mark might not get this, this is where I come from. And it's pretty special.
Oh, wow. We have Fast and the Furious cars here. Okay, now this is a little bit more my speed. Yeah. And that definitely got my attention. And I follow these cars. I know everything about these cars. Finally, some cars I'm really into. I have the Fast and the Furious franchise right here. This is #1. This is the first movie. This is where it all started. That was our hot rod or a muscle car of the time versus, you know, our parents had big block Mopars and Corvettes and American muscle. In my age group, we had Japanese technology with smaller displacement engines with large turbos or twin turbos. So that's the whole era of that car.
There was one thing Mark and I could agree on. This Bond collection was bar none the best we had ever seen. It's a good day when you get to play with all of James Bond's toys, right?
Bond, we're coming after you.
I don't know how he got a plane in here. It's a jet, man. It's a 4-engine jet. There he is right there. I see him over here.
Hey, Scott, how you doing?
It is such a pleasure to meet you.
Welcome to America.
This is
beyond
America.
You come from the United States boondocks.
This is true.
This is the place to be.
That's right. We come from the Midwest, and we are just in awe of what we're seeing here. This is one of the finest collections of vehicles, much less the largest collection of James Bond cars in the world.
Absolutely. Come, let's step into my office. And
very nice guy. We got to know him right away. He wanted us to sit down into his James Bond Smalls collection. I get it, because if you go to my house, I probably got just as much in Batman memorabilia as he does in Bond memorabilia. I'm seeing a similar vibe here, right? On the same wavelength. So he's just got a lot more zeros behind his name. So Michael, yesterday we took the opportunity to look through this entire museum, your other museum up in Fort Lauderdale. We had fun at your Extreme Park. We are elated and excited, to say the least. You've got the largest Batman collection of cars. You've got the world's largest microcar collection and James Bond car collection. And now we're sitting along with more James Bond memorabilia than I have ever seen. Have you been collecting it for a long time?
well, James Bond was a real fluke. I got a call from England, and a lady is telling me that a dentist has a collection of James Bond, and he wants to sell a couple of them because his wife caught him with his secretary, and he needs money. I said, well, so with my sense of humor, I said to her, I don't buy two cars. If you want to sell the whole collection, that's fine. So she said, let me get back to you. She called me back. She said, yes, he might consider if the price is right.
For the whole collection?
For the whole collection.
Everything we see here? Just
more and more. So, because we have them also in Fort Lauderdale and also in Las Vegas.
Right.
So, make a long story short, I called my pilot. I said, call my son. He said, we're going to England Sunday night. We landed on Monday. Guy takes me to the museum. It took about an hour and a half. I made him an offer he couldn't refuse, and I bought his entire collection.
Scott and I get to meet a lot of these characters, these big hitters, I guess you could say. These guys that have made fortunes. They're baby boomers usually. Guys in their 50s, 60s, and 70s that, you know, they made their living, they did very well, and they're out there doing what they love, and some of those guys like cars.
You came to America when? After the Israeli
Yeah, in
Army?
62 I finished the army in April, and in November 62 I came here. So I live here already, what, about 55 years.
And you came into New York? You went to New York?
I came to New York to go to school because they didn't accept me in the Hebrew University in Jerusalem.
You were too smart.
I wasn't then, you know, but thank you. And I went to New York, and I went to a night school, and I worked during the day on Madison Avenue. And believe it or not, I wanted to learn how to do television productions and television advertising, because at that time, in 62, the television just started. Yes. But one thing led to another, and in 65, I think, or 66, I got married, and then I stayed. I mean, I finished my BBA, my MBA, and I worked on Madison Avenue in marketing and advertising companies, and we made a lot of money, and there was no sense to go back to Israel.
So, as you started to make money,
I started to buy cars.
You started to buy cars because you had a passion for it. So,
yes.
Were you making the money for? Now, I understand getting married, you have to have money to survive with your family, but slowly you put away money into cars.
Yes, my wife, I found a 1950 Plymouth in original condition that I paid the state at that time $3,200 for it. And I lived in a house that had only one parking space. So I put the Plymouth in the parking space, and at that time already I made enough money that I had a brand new 73 Cadillac, and the Cadillac was outside in the snow and in the rain and everything. So that's what people made fun of.
So in 73, you only had 2 or 3 cars.
Yes.
But now you have 1,500 cars.
16.
Excuse me. 1,600.
Yes.
He's obviously got a lot of knowledge, and he didn't get to where he's at from nothing to something by doing things wrong. So if I can rub elbows with a gentleman like that and get to know him, he gets to know me, because I'm a straight, honest shooter, good Midwestern boy, and I think we're seeing eye to eye. It's like talking to my Uncle Leo.
Look at this car. This is the DB5. The beauty with this James Bond car, it was the main car in Goldfinger.
You'll be using this Aston Martin DB5.
How many people get to sit in the DB5 of James Bond? And it's my size.
Yes, I was thinking about that.
So do you ever get to drive it around?
We drove it in the beginning a little bit.
Oh my goodness, look at this. Q, something's wrong with my Aston Martin. I need to get it fixed. Would you get on it right away?
Okay, I think we all agreed today that we can all say that the James Bond Aston Martin DB5 is one of our favorite cars ever. And why is that? Well, first of all, it's the James Bond car. It's the car. And why is it the car? Because it was one of the first cars where they really put all the gadgets.
Now open the top and inside are your defense mechanism controls. Smoke screen, oil slick, rear bulletproof screen, and left and right front wing machine gun.
This was every child's dream. I had the Corgi car on this. You press a little button on the back, ejector seat, and the little guy would pop out, and you replayed that vision over and over in head. But to be here in the presence of the real machine, I've got a Batmobile, and I gotta say, while Batman's pretty cool, James Bond is the real deal. Gotta love him. Michael, thank you. That was a delight.
My pleasure. I have to run for my other meeting, but we'll get to see each other later.
Absolutely. Can't wait to talk.
Great. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
So we've seen his prized collection of cars. Now he wants us to check out what he does for a living. Collects real estate like no other. I'll take a picture of mojitos. Spending the weekend with Mr. Michael Deser is just short of amazing. Planes, trains, and automobiles. First class all the way. It's really something, I gotta say. I've been to a lot of places, and I've been all over the world, and this is a world-class location, and rightfully so. Saluta! So if I have the chance to align with some of the best and biggest brands in the world, Porsche, Armani, Trump, Deser, and now Moto Exotica, bring it on. First, Mr. Deser showed us his passion. Now he wanted to show us his business. So he takes us to the Porsche Design Center, which is a crowning jewel, I'll have to admit.
Welcome to the Porsche Design Tower. The beauty of this building is, to begin with, it's 60 stories on the ocean. And the units here are starting from $5 million to $30 million. The uniqueness of the building is that because it's a Porsche tower and it was sanctioned by the Porsche Design Company to us, we wanted to make it unique. And the unique thing here is that we invented a car elevator that takes your car all the way up to your apartment. And there's never been done something like this in America.
There's 3 bays bringing your cars up into the penthouse. It gives you the ability to park 11 vehicles at your leisure right here on the 60th floor. So this elevator will open up, it'll bring your car out, and then you can pull them forward, and you can admire them. You can finish up this space in a den-like setting, however you choose. Nonetheless, you can put a very nice collection of cars up here in the ultimate Batcave. So tell us more about that opening night. So we're literally here before or just after your grand opening.
We had 1,000 VIPs invited to the grand opening. It was on the beach, of course, on the pool. We have Alisa Keys, that is a good friend of ours, that we know from many years before. And then we did fireworks that even on the 4th of July, you don't see such fireworks. It was so good. And then you pop the fireworks to show. And it was amazing. I mean, everybody went crazy.
So we're here with Martha. She's showing us the penthouse suite at the Porsche Design Tower. It's, what, 20,000 square feet?
Yes, 20,000 square feet.
On 4 floors. And the asking price?
$32 million.
$32 million.
On the very top, you have other high-rise condominiums below you, and they look like little dwarfs. It's amazing. But the view is awesome. Absolutely stunning. This is windy. Windy, windy, windy.
I started to buy the land on the ocean, and I was going to do a hotel. And I was looking for a good name for the hotel. And I thought that the Trump will be a good name. And I called him up, and he said, come over, we'll do business, because he knows me from New York, from Chelsea. And I, of course, know him from Midtown. So we got together, we made a deal in 1 hour that he's going to give me the whole the whole Dade County as a territory to build Trump buildings on it. So I became a very good friend of his, and I was in the wedding of him and Melania, he was in the wedding of my son, I was in the wedding of his 3 kids, and we are very good friends. The kids are friends now, together. So we're actually friends for 15 years, and everybody is jealous that I have a friend in the White House.
You were telling me just the other day that you came upon a Trump limousine. Can you tell me about that?
Turned out to be in 1988, General Motors and Trump, Cadillac rather, decided to make a limo, a Trump limo. Because at that time there used to be designers, cars by Lincoln and so on. So they did two prototypes, and it never took off. But there's 2 cars that have been existing. So I bought the one in London, and it's on the way here, and it's going to be in my museum.
So what are the chances that we get to go for a ride in a limousine with Donald Trump? We just came down off the penthouse in the Porsche Design Center, and Mr. Desert's waiting for us over in the Porsche bar. And he sits down, he wants to chat with us. He wants to see what we thought of his collection. He wants to know what we felt. He wants to know how we felt about this magnificent building. Obviously, you know, he's brought us here for a reason, and it was slowly unveiled like a peeling of an onion.
Cars are my hobby, but not my business. And I put together 1,600 cars, and I was looking for somebody like you to join my company and get involved in buying and selling cars. We have 3 museums existing right now in Miami, in Fort Lauderdale, and in Las Vegas. And we have a location in Manhattan as well. And you have one in St. Louis. And I said to myself, maybe if a guy's smart and he's capable of running 4 locations, 5 locations, we can make it the largest classic car company in the world.
So Michael rattled us with a proposition. Help me run and develop this Moto Exotica Desert Alliance, and he wants to take this and blow it up, because he's got a passion for this, into the world's largest classic car dealer. I'm like, are you shitting me? Before we headed back, Michael wanted us to check out this 60,000 square foot showroom for our new joint venture. Okay, so this place is twice as big as what we've got now.
And fully open.
We're gonna have to seriously digest this.
Well, yeah, because
we start diluting us, how much, you know, we're on the road half the year already.
I still have tons of questions right now. Some have been answered, but you know, the business side, I mean, all this is great and all, but you know, I'm always thinking business.
He has given us an opening and enough rope just to hang ourselves.
And we're down here without our cars in a full business of the St. Louis.
Without anything running, we don't have a marketing department, we don't have a detail, we don't have any mechanics.
Nothing.
It scares me and it intrigues me. I am honored of the opportunity to come down here and even think about it. But what the f are we gonna do?
We're gonna have to figure it out fast.
You'll be the largest car dealer in the classic cars in the world.